Okay, so this video is going to be pretty honest. You know, a lot of these vlogs I do about gigs and all this stuff is going to be really raw and honest, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but I'm just going to be straight up about my experience. So, I mean, hold on tight. Here we go. Friday, March 16th, 17th, I don't know, anyway. Friday, the day before the first gig at St. Patty's Day, Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. And this is my first rehearsal with the Dirt Road Rockers. So, been learning all them songs, and now I finally get to actually get in the same room with them and see how things go. And then tomorrow is the big show. So we will see how things go. Oh man, I hate it when we kick these cameras on. Every time I kick this camera on, I haven't done this in a while. I haven't seen myself on camera. Shocking how old I look, because inside I feel like I'm 28 or something, like 29, whatever. And then I see that on the phone and I am reminded of what reality looks like. But here we go, man. I'm gonna have a good time. I hope this goes well, and we will talk to you when we get there.
What's up, Carl?
Bob Boy.
How you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm more.
I'll be ready, buddy.
Hold on. No,
That's
I'm ready.
Colin Keemley.
Would you like some? You like some?
That's Colin Keemley right there.
What is that, Carl?
Oh my gosh, this stuff's disgusting.
Okay, so let's cover this. I'm gonna be honest about everything. I've already covered all that. Okay, so if you're in here listening, I don't care if there's 5 of you that enjoy watching these things, or 100, or I'm just doing this for myself really, and I'm sharing it with everybody. If you want to watch, great. If you don't. But there's gonna be some truth in here. First impressions, okay. Jerry, I know him. I've been in bands with him for years. Bobby's such a nice guy. He's a veteran of the scene. I was thinking about doing impressions of each member, but I think I could do Colin pretty good. I can do. Here's my Bobby. Okay, here's Bobby Boyd. This is what it seemed like to me when there's a couch in the room and he was sitting over on the couch, and here's what he looked like to me. I don't know if you can see this, but it's like this. This is what Bobby was like. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. This is gonna rock, man. So that's my Bobby impression. That is a Hall of Fame drummer over there too, Bobby Boyd. Look at it.
Yay!
Do you see him? I get to talk to these guys. I mean, like I say, he's catching a nap. It looked like he was catching a nap here and there. I mean, I admire that. I wish I could do that. I'm just too high strung. So anyway, I finally get to meet Wyatt. He comes in. He's a busy man. He seems like he's energetic, moving around on his phone a lot, doing this thing. Shook hands with him. Said, "Hey man, this is gonna be cool." He said, "This is gonna be great playing with you," and all that stuff. All them, pleasantries and stuff. But the highlight for me is, okay, Colin Keemley is 29 years old. He's a kid, right? And I remember being young. And I don't know if it's a lead guitar player thing, but we just don't ever seem like we have our shit together 100%, right? Okay, guitar players are people that at any given moment have either lost their keys or don't remember where they put their phone or something like that. There's always some sort of something that's going on in the background that they're looking for, right? And but Colin shows up. He's got his professional gear, road cases, all this stuff. You can tell this guy's a pro, and he's a great player.
He never stops, this dude.
That's Colin Keemley. He plugs in, starts playing. He's got that Kemper system. Just a great player, this kid. Unbelievable. And I'm going to learn a lot from him. Like I said, being around him, I'm watching what he's doing. He's a great player. But just, coming into a room, just knocking things over like, hey, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. And then there's always something like, I don't know where my key was. Everything's just a tornado when this kid shows up, right? And I just love that. I just love watching that unfold in front of my eyes, because it reminds me of myself when I was his age, right? Okay, so the rehearsal went like that. A lot of standing around waiting for things to happen. We didn't get a really good rehearsal in, but we rehearsed enough to know that it wasn't going to be an embarrassment the next night. So then gig day comes. I show up to the venue. I'm pretty nervous. I haven't done this in a long time. It's been 10 years since I've played lead guitar or guitar in a band. Okay, first of all, in this band, we don't use amps. We're using guitar simulators or guitar emulators. Like Colin has a Kemper system, and them are really cool. They sound awesome. They're way out of my price range. I can't afford one. So all this boutique stuff he has, American Strats, Les Paul, his Tellys, all that stuff. He's got top of the line stuff, because he's in the business. I have been away for a while, and I haven't really, last time I played guitar, I had stacks behind me. I had loud amps on stage. This band plays with in-ear monitors, which is new to me. I've never done this before. So you put these deals in, right? And it closes off the sound of everything. So it sounds like it feels like you have earplugs in. You can't hear anything. If somebody were to walk up to me and start talking to me, I wouldn't be able to hear them. But inside there is the mix, and we can hear everything clearly. And the volume is not that loud. I mean, it can be set, well, I can have it loud if I want, but it's not that loud. You can kind of turn it down and you're playing. And so you're hearing this kind of mix in here that's not the same thing that's coming through the PA system. That you can feel the PA system. That's what the cool thing was. I was sitting there messing with my guitar. I didn't even know, I had this wireless in-ear monitor system pack on my pants. I wasn't even on stage yet. Anyway, I was just over there kind of checking my guitar, and I'm trying to see if I can get to hear it in the in-ears. I didn't hear anything in the in-ears, but through the PA, I heard that chug, 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 right? And that sound is like familiar to me. That's me. I'm coming through the PA, and somehow my guitar is live through the PA right now, and I'm over here backstage tinkering around. And so I stopped, and I said, hey, Jerry, man, I'm not hearing me in here, but I felt that out in front. You kind of feel it. And, and he looked at my pack, and you didn't turn your pack on. I don't know how to turn this thing. I've never done it before, so he turns it on for me. That's how green I am about this. It's been a long time since I played. This new in-ear monitor stuff, it's just all new to me. All right, so here's the boring part. If you're a girl, I'm going to do like gear stuff here. So you can go ahead and fast forward through this part. I didn't realize my belt was undone. I just took a leak. Sorry. Excuse me. Anyway, so... So this is what I'm using in the Dirt Road Rockers. It is my Hartfield Talon. This is a pretty sweet guitar. It's made by Fender and Ibanez. It's made in like the RG550 factory. So all really good components. Only unfortunate thing is it has the Floyd Rose here, so it's a floating bridge. Although, to play in this country band, I was figuring I was going to have to do a bunch of country band stuff, and I'm going to need a hardtail. So I didn't want to go running out buying a telly or something like that to, waste my money and maybe not like tellies. So I didn't know what I was going to get yet. So I just went into it thinking that I'd have one of these modified. I had Travis, who is very good at guitar stuff. He's got a little shop in his basement. I had Travis Williams, my buddy. Travis, hosted Minor Disturbance Radio with me. He blocked this bridge. So he put some wood in there. And this bridge don't move anymore. So I can do all my little fancy licks and stuff without, so that note shouldn't change when I bend another one. See? It stays there. Now on the other guitar, if I bent a note, all the strings would go flat. Had them block the bridge. So that's what I'm using. This Talon, Seymour Duncan, and the bridge here, Super Distortion DiMarzio, and then I don't even know what that middle is, whatever comes with the guitar. So 24 fret. Reverse headstock, pointy. I know, the pointy. But you know what? I think the sexy is F. And it works. And then also the backup. So there's another one just like it. I have 6 of these things, every color they made. So here's the backup Talon. And as you can see, but this one is not blocked. So when I bend strings, they're going to change. For example, like listen to this E string when I bend the other strings. Here I went down. So that's not a fixed bridge. So when you're pulling the strings, that bridge is going to move here. You need a hardtail. All right. And here's another boring thing to talk about here. But I've never used these things before. Like I say, Colin has what's called a Kemper, and it's an amp modeler. So basically any boutique amp in the world is inside of his modeler. So this is what I'm using for this gig. It's a amplifier 6. I'm using basically a dirty channel, a boosted channel, clean channel, and then I have my effects up here. But basically, I don't know how to work this thing. It's brand new to me. Sounds killer. I mean, that's what they told me anyway. I've never heard it through the PA speakers. I've only heard it through my in-ear monitors and through my studio monitors down here. So I don't really know what it sounds like live. But we're going to get that dialed in because it seems to sound pretty good. But it doesn't do all the things that Colin's Kemper does. But here's what in-ears look like. So these are, you know, these things go all up in my stuff and they block everything out. So that's where everything comes from, is my in-ears right here. So that's how they're rocking it. And so this gig's a little different. There's no amps on stage. You'll notice there's no cabinets. I found that out the hard way. I had a beer in my hand for this show. And I turned around to look for a place to put my beer, because usually I'd set it on my cabinet or my amp or whatever, right? And there's nothing back there because we don't have any amps. And so there's a guy helping us out, stagehand or whatever, and I kept handing it to him like, I don't know what to do with this. So I just handed him my beer, and I guess I'm going to have to get a drink holder on, put it on my mic stand or something. I don't know. Anyway, that was the rig rundown. That's what I'm using for this thing, and we'll see. Maybe down the road I'll grab a Strat or a Tele or something, and maybe not. I don't know. Let's see.
As of tonight, give it up on my right, your left. Give it up for Brian Minor!
So anyway, so I get up on stage, we hit the first notes, and then we start playing, and of course, it's a rush of energy, you know, and if I knew the songs, what I thought was 99%, by the time you're on stage in front of 2,000 people, you really only know them 70%, you know. And there was a couple times where I found that out. So let's go here. That's the rig. Let's talk about the mistakes. Okay, yeah, I made a few mistakes. And some were really obvious. For me, obvious to me. But maybe not to the audience. I don't know. There was a lot of people there. You tell me. But let's see. My first thing I can remember that I made a mistake at was we do Don't Stop Believing by Journey. I did the solo early, which is a great solo, by the way. I did it perfectly. I just did it a whole verse early, I think, and then ruined the song. So we had to shut the backing tracks off. So that was my first mistake. And let's see, another mistake. I started Heads Carolina, Tails, whatever that song. Let me grab a guitar. All right, got a guitar. So the Heads Carolina, Tails California thing. I started, I think, in the wrong key. I was like, I was here. I could hear Colin trying to do what he usually would do over that riff, and he's yelling across the stage at me like, it's in A, it's in A. And so I'm like, oh, it is. Why did I start this thing in G? It had to jump up right before the verse. So I'm thinking, man, everybody had to notice that. That was embarrassing, but I messed that up. And then there was a couple spots in some songs where I forgot because I learned the songs like I was going to be playing by myself. So I learned the solos. And then some of these songs, the chords behind the solo are different than what the actual verses and stuff is. So I didn't know what chords were going on behind the solos in a couple of them. And I'm just hoping for the best, just grabbing C's and G's and D's like any good guitarist would, and hoping for the best. And I made it through finally, did a whole bunch of, and just grabbing chords and moving around and just trying not to really commit to anything too bad. And getting through that and then get back into the song. So they made me sing Home Sweet Home, which was enjoyable. I like singing. But anyway, so let's move on to the next thing here. That was the mistakes. I think that's all the mistakes I made. I may have missed a couple backups. It always seems flat. Whenever I hear my voice through like cell phone recordings, I always think I'm flat. Is that common for everybody? Anyway, mistakes, that's that. Okay, so this is one thing I forgot about that happens when you're in a band. One of the things I forgot to think about when I started doing it again, and that's the fallout, okay? And by fallout, I mean the next day, the pictures on Facebook, the comments, the phone videos. it's hard to watch for me. I don't know why. I'm just one of them people that it gives me anxiety to know that there's documentation of these things that I don't have control of, right? So people in the audience got their cell phone out, they're recording the songs and putting it on Facebook Live, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people making their impressions and forming their opinions on your skills. Okay, so who's this Brian Miner guy? What's so important about him? Well, let's watch this video on Facebook that somebody put up with a cell phone microphone and all that, and watch Brian Miner play guitar and be on stage, and it's not really a true representation of what it feels like there, all these things. So I think that some other musicians can relate to that. This whole being able to record on cell phones, it's not flattering sometimes. Anyway, so the fallout, the pictures, all that stuff, it just, the next day I don't want to look at it. I don't want to, give me a couple days to heal from, because I'm a perfectionist and I know I made mistakes, and I had the feeling that that's the only part of the shows that were recorded, and I have to watch them over and over and over, and then see the comments that, oh, it was great, it was cool, and in the background I'm messing up, or I'm not doing the best Brian Miner that I want to be. So that's the fallout from that. I forgot about that. That's the kind of stuff that bothers me. But let's see. And one other thing I wanted to talk about was I got into, check this out. I don't know how I did it, but I got out my old stage pants. The ones that I bedazzled and made look all cool for rock and roll. I guess nowadays they have companies that make them again, I mean, I know that back in the 80s, people were wearing lip service stuff and you could buy your clothes from a rock place or whatever. But for a while there, all that stuff looked really grungy, or the style of music wasn't the same. So I had to make my own rock pants or whatever, and go get like rivets and stuff and make my own thing. So I made my own pants with like these snaps coming up the sides of the pants, on the sides, and then on the zipper, and the pockets are outlined with these rivets and all that stuff. So they're really cool, but they're really small and stretchy, right? So I'm trying to pack this 245-pound man into these freaking rock pants to do this rock show. And I'm thinking, man, if I can get into these, that would be so cool. And I tried them the first time and I couldn't get them to button. Just couldn't get it. I was like, damn it, I gotta lose some weight. And I've been sitting around eating big bowls of honeycombs and Captain Crunch and watching documentaries and eating gummies and whatever. So now I'm going back to 1,000 miles an hour on stage and trying to look youthful. And I don't want to look like an old turd, but I am. So it's going to take me a little time to lose a little weight. But so I get into these pants finally. The next day I try them again. I put them on and I get them to snap. And I'm like, holy shit, they're on. I'm in these things. And I looked in the mirror and I didn't have a shirt on at the time. And I looked like a ice cream cone. You know what I mean? It was dripping over the sides. And I'm like, whatever. This is reality. I know this is how life is right now. This is what I look like, whatever. I can't be 185 pounds like I was when I was in my 20s. I'm just not. And but Colin had these really cool pants with the snaps up the side. They reminded me of the pants I used to wear when I was singing for Dive Bomb and stuff. And after the show, he said, hey, you wore your snap pants, the ones with the things on the side. And he said, I got my pants because of you. And I saw that you had them and I thought them were really cool, so I got some. And I was really flattered by that because I didn't know I had made an impression on Colin that way. But his were actual like Warren Star Pro stuff, and you could just tell mine were blue jeans with. I got into my rock pants. That's the victory I had. Okay, so let's go. So that's all the fallout, all that stuff. We've covered all that. Now my concerns. Okay, this is something that I've learned since I picked up the guitar again. And by the way, the reason I picked up the guitar again was purely because I heard Hotel California. And I was like, that solo is so iconic. I'm just going to grab a guitar off the wall. I'm going to sit down here and see if I can't pick it out and figure the solo out to Hotel California. And halfway through, I realized, number one, they're not playing with a lot of gain. I'm used to doing rock heavy and everything's so heavy. This had like melody and great tones and all that stuff. And then I realized that there's a lot of bendy, what you would consider maybe Southern sounding licks in there. And I found that to be really interesting to go down that road and learn that style of the bendy things and whatever. And so I started learning them types of solos. And I did get the Hotel California solo down and another thing. And then I started getting blisters on my fingers and I started feeling like a guitar player again. It started to come back. And then I had lunch with Jerry Smith one day and he said that they might be looking for a guitar player. So I thought about that anyway. So here I am. But my concerns are, I've noticed that the more I play every day now. I try to play at least for an hour or two. I love playing guitar again. That's the thing. My passion's back. I love the guitar. But I've found that in the interim of not playing, I don't know if I've damaged something or something has changed, but as I'm playing guitar, my left hand is going to sleep. So there's a nerve, I think I have carpal tunnel. There's a nerve in my arm that's getting pinched, and when I'm playing, my hand goes numb. So most of the time that I'm playing guitar anymore, my fingers are either tingling or waking up from sleeping, or they're going to sleep and they're tingling and they're numb. And I got to work on that. So that could be a problem. I'm hoping it's not. I hope I can get it solved. I don't know if I need surgery. I don't know what's going to happen. But right now it's not painful and I can still play. But if it becomes painful, it might be an obstacle for me and it might change the way things go as far as this goes. But anyway, there you go. That is Brian Miner Gig Log episode 2. I will keep you guys posted as to everything that's happening. Thanks for checking it out. Like I say, I'm not trying to get famous with this thing. I'm just trying to do something that's fun. And the whole, I've been in radio, I've done podcasts, I've done all that stuff, and it's never really turned into anything. I'm not expecting this to either. But if you enjoy talking shop, that's what I'm going to do on these vlogs. We'll have a little fun. Some will be funny. Some might be dramatic. I don't know. But I'm going to be honest. So thanks for watching. Brian Miner Gig Log episode 2. Peace. Side note while I'm on my way there. This band doesn't only do country songs. So apparently they do some rock songs, like they do that Journey song, Don't Stop Believing, and then they do a Survivor song. No, it's not Eye of the Tiger, but it's I Can't Stop Thinking About You or whatever, or High on You. That's what it's called. And I guess I've never paid attention to what the lyrics say, because you're listening to the song, it's though there she stood. And after that, I thought it said, there she stood by the teacher, right? By the teacher or something. I'm thinking, okay, they're in school. But the lyric is, so there she stood, but that'll teach her. That'll teach her. Teach her what? I don't get it. That'll teach her to stand there and look so good and feel so right or whatever. That'll teach her. And then my wife thought it said, that'll teach you. Like, that'll teach you. That'll teach you to be standing there. Be standing there in front of a famous rock band. You're going to get took. And I did notice, too, that the lyric says, let me tell you about the girl I met last night. And then later on in the song, after he's, like, in the streets begging for a touch, it's, let me tell you about the girl I had last night. That'll teach you.